All right. So we're live, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and put us on the screen there. All right. All right. Now I'm going to unmute everybody. So give me 1 minute.
Mm-hmm.
All right. There we go. Now we're live now. Hello, everyone. Thank you for hanging out with us this evening. This is MCon Anime Fest Online. And we having a special segment here called Behind the Artist Table. Behind the Artist Table. I am your host, McKel Supreme from Night and Day Anime Studios. And I have some special guests here. I got a big round table of artists here for y'all. How about we go ahead and order and start from each one. Everybody go ahead and start, introducing yourselves. Give a little brief description about yourselves a little bit. Kyle Horn, how about you start with yourself?
Sure. My name is Kyle Horn. I'm an illustrator and writer, and pretty much I produce comic books, children's books, and I've been drawing for about 20 plus years.
Wow. All right, Rebecca, how about you go ahead?
Okay, my name is Rebecca. I'm the artist and owner of Mad Artist Paradise, and I am a watercolor illustrator primarily, but I do dabble with comic writing and animation on the sideline.
All right, and let's see on the next side there, Jennifer Lee. How about yourself?
Hey, I'm Jen. I'm a freelance animator. I also do character illustrations, and I generally do web animations for a channel called Pencilmation, but other than that, I pretty much do like a bunch of stuff. Yeah, I'm awkward, sorry.
Don't worry, we all do a bunch of stuff. I hear you on that point. And then Kara, please go ahead, introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's Kara. You can also call me by my art name, Muñeca. I just do normal drawings and stuff. I would say, I guess I'm a freelance artist as well. I do different types of like fantasy art and kind of more on like the anime-ish side. So, and I've literally been drawing for like all my life. So.
Alrighty. So now that we got that out of the way, all right, and of course, me, McKel Supreme from Night and Day Anime Studios. How's everybody been doing lately? Everybody's been fine. Everybody's good, safe, and healthy.
More or less.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
A lot of ups and downs, but yeah.
Okay, and also, since the whole thing started, I talked to a few of y'all before when we had our summer edition MCon, during May, whatnot. We had a nice discussion about things like how it's been going on with the art field when it comes to the conventions being shut down, and everybody has to be on their own, whatnot, when it comes down to it due to the shutdown of the city and the pandemic. I know we're gonna go straight to the meat and potatoes already. How's things been going on since then? I mean, do you, tell us your life story. Anyone can start, please. Anyone that's been, things been getting better or things.
Well, things have been getting a lot better for me, honestly. But I ended up, after my restaurant that I was working at shut down, I ended up applying to be a teacher's aide, and now I work at one of the BOCES schools, which is fun.
Okay. Who next want to share their story?
I guess I'll probably have a few words.
Yes, please.
But mainly since the pandemic happened, like all of my shows, all the craft shows I normally do, been canceled, convention, dead.
Right.
And I'm unfortunately had not been getting much commission, to the point that no commission plus a rib injury kind of put me out of commission for a while, but I pretty much got it back in order again. So pretty much pushing it hard with now streaming, of course, and getting the artwork going again. So trying to come back stronger than ever.
Oh yeah, I hear you on that point. Who else want to go ahead and share a little something?
Well, for me, I was working remotely to begin with before the pandemic started, so things haven't really changed too much for me. I guess the frequency of projects is starting to go down a bit since I mostly work on indie type stuff. So the people who do indie projects, they don't have as much income for their side projects at the moment. But other than that, it hasn't changed too much for me. As for conventions, it does kind of stink because I was really new to conventions and I was still trying to get a handle of them. So yeah.
I hear you.
Mm,
Yeah.
I felt
Kyle.
that.
Yeah, right. Kyle, how about yourself?
As for me, pretty much I've been working on my books since conventions have shut down. I figured I could finish up my graphic novel in the time before conventions start rolling up again. So I've been doing that, finishing up a few children's books here and there, and working on my art, especially with inking. I've been trying to practice a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely have to say that. Yeah, on my end, yeah, it was a downer, man. I had a whole great lineup from like for 2020 for my convention summer circuit. I was invited to like I believe it was PhillyCon. I was
Hello,
going
we
to
got a
do. I was going to go down there. They're going to have me do like a couple of workshops, and it was been like my real major first time actually doing
okay.
anything
I
outside of New
kind of
York.
lost you.
Oh, you hear me?
Oh, geez. My internet's being a little wonky at the moment.
Okay. Hopefully you get back with
Uh,
us. All right, we have a little technical difficulties. But anyway, what I was saying was that and I was invited to PhillyCon and I was going to do like a couple of workshops for some kids and whatnot. And it was gonna be like the first time I actually did some kind of sale or
mhm.
reach new clientels outside of New York. I normally do them like within
I
the
do
New
apologize.
York area. Hello? Uh-oh. I think we lost a mad artist. Her she screen is kind of freezing. Hopefully she get back there. But what I was gonna say was, and on a negative
Am
note.
I
Oh, you here?
reaching? Oh, boy. Oh,
Yeah, you're with us. You got us.
dear.
Uh-oh.
I'm.
Uh-oh.
I mean,
Hopefully,
everyone's screen kind of froze on my end.
no,
So
everybody's good
I'm
here.
trying.
Yeah.
Mine pretty much
Everybody having
completely
issues?
froze.
Anyone having issues?
Mm, no.
Uh-oh.
No.
I'm fine.
All right. Yeah. So
Yeah,
what?
my internet's usually wonky at the time.
No, hopefully it will improve. No worries. No worries.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what I was, like how Kyle put it, and everybody else kind of been saying and whatnot. I was talking to a couple of artists down earlier, and they were saying the same thing, like they feel mad and bad and
Oh,
sad
come
that.
on. Okay, you're all
Uh-oh.
gonna have to give me. Sorry.
All right, no worries, no worries.
Take your time.
Yeah, man, don't worry about it. We're good. We're gonna be here for a while anyway. We're gonna have a nice little discussion. So, so somebody was mentioning that, yeah, conventions are down, but you know what? That will be just enough time for us to get our weight up. Just as Kyle was put it, he started working on his book. I started working on my book and whatnot. I finally finished like my a client's children's book due to the fact that things were shut down. So I had more time to work on it. So I figured, once I got that done, which was back in June, it's called Kid Greatness. I figured, let me
Mm.
go start working on my personal book. I haven't done my own personal comic book since I believe 2010 with Just Blaze, Legend of the Firing Fist, and I'm start working on a whole new book. So with this kind of negativity of the shutdown and convention shutdown, like Kyle said, it helped me get my weight up a little bit, especially doing all this online streaming things too, and also working on the online store. Anyone working on the online stores as well? They doing any virtual sales?
I mean, I haven't been getting any sales, but I have been pretty much taking the time to revamp my website, actually really tackle the store with, okay, what inventory we have, what have we sold, so that way get everything up to date again and such, and really try to push the sale of
Yeah.
existing product and also promoting that, hey, I do freelance commission, so
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
I've been trying to revamp my Redbubble because I hadn't used it in like a hot minute. And then one of my friends is like, "Oh, do you have a Redbubble?" I was like, "Oh my god, I do. I actually do." So I was like adding some of like my newer works to it, which was pretty cool. Um, and I still have a couple of commissions to do. I know I have like 3 or 4 commissions left that I have to do, which I've like I got them since the pandemic, so they were keeping me busy. So
Lucky.
I have some good friends so that apparently like my artwork. So woohoo!
Yep. Yay. Always good.
Mhm.
I started up a Patreon right around the time that the pandemic started, so I've been working hard to improve that and post a lot, and pretty much I've been putting a lot of my recent artwork up on there as well.
Very nice.
Hey, you've
Are
been
you-
working a lot of projects, Kyle. I've seen you, man. I bet you on your Instagram. You've been working very hard, man.
Oh, thank you.
That Rocky piece is glorious. If you didn't see Kyle Horn's Rocky Balboa piece with Creed, I suggest you check it out on his Instagram or on his Facebook.
I could share it.
Oh yeah,
if
please
you,
go ahead.
Yes, please
let me
do.
see. So pretty much what I'm doing over the last, how long has it been? Maybe month and a half. I've been going through and listing like my favorite films of all time and stuff from I think 100 to 1. So pretty much right now I'm around 90 with Rocky. Let me see, it's loading up, but pretty much some of the pieces I didn't want to just do character portraits because anyone could do that and stuff, just character portraits of protagonists and things like that. But I wanted to go in and actually do, there we go. But I actually wanted to showcase like full scenes and things like that. So I like some of the pieces I think this one took me, must have been close to 150 hours to do.
Wow, man,
Mm.
that's insane.
Nicely done.
I mean, it's
Thank
like
you.
every time I look at it, I see like something new I forgot to see in behind, man. It's like, yo, that's
Yeah.
insane, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's so much
Plenty of-
detail in the background.
I was just about to say the details stuff. Like there's so many details like in the background and the shading. It's like very strong with the shading.
Like, what is it? Like pretty much I seen the third and fourth film when I was younger with my father, and then I just went and saw all 8 films back to back, like over the past month and a half and
Nicely
things.
done.
And like, it's after seeing it after, what has it been, like 20 plus years and stuff of the, the films and everything like that. It's given me a new take on the whole series.
Yeah. We got a couple of shout outs on the Facebook Live. Mark Torres, he says there's always a silver lining. Shout out to Mark Torres from It Came From the Radio. And also, I know I'm going to botch up this name. Another one says, someone says, hi, Jacina Rosenberg. That's impressive. Great job, she says, Kyle.
Thank
Very
you.
cool. Yeah, so I mean, doing this whole pandemic, I was like, it's insane that how with this enough time, I actually went up to the whole next level, like everybody else is doing, doing the virtual convention with MCon. Also, I do live drawings every Tuesday at 7 o'clock. Trying to help out, trying to get commissions on doing that, working on the online store, revising the website. So, I mean, it's a whole new norm. I mean, like, how long do you think this new norm is going to be? You think we're actually going to finally get back in-house?
I mean, like the pandemic itself. I mean, given what we already know about the pandemic, I'm theorizing it just might be another year or so.
Yeah, that's what I feel.
Mhm.
From what I've heard, it won't go back to like our type of norm or even anything similar to that till
Yeah.
at least next year.
Yeah. I mean, like a lot of stuff to definitely change and such, especially for the survivors.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
So I really feel like even if we do go back to the norm, it's like you guys say, I think it's going to be like semi where, they're still going to be working on the virtual, because I see a lot of conventions. Even me and Kyle was actually scoping out the DC fandom and other conventions that's out there that's doing virtually. I'm sure that they see the benefits out of that, where they could gain a whole new audience, where they can basically, get the people who can't make it to watch their shows or even participate. So in the conventions, I mean, it's not the same being in-house, obviously, but those who can't make it for whatever reasons there is, they can still do so virtually.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
So
What I
yeah, go ahead.
what I found with DC fandom in particular was that they had entertainment behind it. Like, it wasn't just showing the panels and things like that. They actually had engagement from video recordings and things like that to make it seem sort of like a New York or San Diego Comic-Con, like very exciting and things.
Yeah, like everyone knows what's going on with New York Comic Con this year.
I have no idea.
Not a clue, other than the fact that I've heard it was canceled like way back when, and like not just me, but some of my coworker at Home Depot. Oh my God, they were so disappointed. They're like, no.
Yeah.
They went online. They're going virtual this year.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
They started up this week, actually.
Okay, what do you mean? Start selling tickets?
Well, it's all free online.
Oh, okay. I see a couple conventions, and I'm not going to say any names or whatnot, but I see a couple of virtual cons that are actually selling tickets, or they even take it to the next level, which I think is still good. They'll sell like a minute with a star, like a celebrity. They'll do something like that.
Yes.
They'll sell you like a I think I'll just randomly go throw out a number like $80, $100, maybe something like that, to talk to William Shatner for 1 minute.
Oh boy, hey, yeah, I've seen a few of those out.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
I do know Michelle Knott, one of the celebrities that I actually follow. She's been doing a lot of streaming lately too.
Yeah.
So
shout out to Michelle Knott. She definitely helped us a lot during MCon, during the summer edition and whatnot. So, shout out to her. And I know she's looking for more followers on Twitch. So I suggest you guys, whoever's listening, to go follow Michelle Knott. She's the voice of Jessie from Team Rocket. She's on Twitch now. She's looking for more people to come through. So, hey, support. I can't believe Pokemon is still popular. So, hey, what it is. I was a freaking kid, excuse my language, when Pokemon first was introduced to the U.S. So it's a saying that my own son was actually still looking at it. So you see how it is, how art is, how things work. Speaking of art.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with my son. Like, he's able to he was playing Pokemon Sword and Shield earlier today. So I was like, oh my goodness.
Yep.
So it's funny how art is very like emotionally involved or even passionate toward people who that you might when people come to you and they commission you to do a certain character whatnot that they love or whatnot and to have that moment to have somebody hang up your artwork or have your work in the house. I mean, how gratifying, or not gratifying, excuse me, wrong word. How like fulfilled did you guys feel when that happens, when someone buys stuff from your table?
Well, I mean, it was like, I don't know how to describe it. If that makes sense.
Anyone else have to anything? Oh, well, it does make sense. I got you on that point.
Yeah, when I started doing this, like at least 5 years ago, this was like way back in the day when my skills were not as it is now. But anytime someone bought something from us, it's like early days. It's like, oh my God, I feel so honored. Like, thank you. It's like those joyous moments where someone actually liked my stuff to actually buy, help support, and and there are people who still help support, and I do what I can to show my gratitude every time. Do like shout out thank yous, like anything I could do to show that I appreciate the support.
Yeah, I definitely feel you on that point too. Also, I mean, I love it when they still tag me or send me a tag on Instagram, showing my work on their walls, things like that. It's great. I mean, it's when I first started, like I think it was like maybe back in 2010, I believe. I mean, I've been doing this for a hot minute. Doing conventions. Me and Jay Scribble. I used to feel like so honored, like wow, thank you, whatnot. But now that 10 years more, under my belt, I'm a little conceited, I'm a little arrogant. I'm like, you better buy it, yeah, it's good stuff, enjoy it. Yeah, that's just me bugging out. But yeah, but again, I still feel thankful that people would be among all these great artists around me, surrounded in a convention, that they would choose me to spend their hard-earned dollars to buy my work and whatnot, things like that. This is one of the reasons why why during the shutdown, I've been working very hard constantly on the book, and also working on new art, and doing the Tuesday nights live sessions is actually going to help me build an arsenal of artwork so I can be ready for next year. What was you I heard you guys mentioning that you guys been working on things, on projects. Anyone want to share anything they want to put on display, like any type of project? Who want to go first? Matt, since you were here first with us, you want to go ahead and show some work?
Yeah, just making sure I have my actual cards ready and such, and I'll remove my water.
And Jen, you're good. I hope you're there.
Yeah.
All right. I hope you're not writing our names down on the death note.
I would hope not.
Oh my god. No.
Last thing I need is a heart attack. Especially since it's running in my family, so yeah. But yeah, let me just get the screen share going. Yeah, the cord that port is cut off. Okay, so I'm just pulling this thing up a little bit quickly here, because I actually got the traditional camera hooked up onto my computer.
Nice.
So that way it's like, this is what I'm currently working on right now. If y'all know about Inktober, like Jake Parker's Inktober,
yeah,
it's like I've taken inspiration from Inktober and putting my own little spin on it by actually doing these little like training cards.
Wow.
That my basil is a little bit off. But
your lines are clean, Rebecca. Your lines are clean, man.
Yeah, like I call my current version the Green Witch Grimoire, which out of the 400 herbs and like magical ingredients and everything, and such, I pretty much did the setup of, for every letter of the alphabet, I choose one random plant by a number generator, and I actually do that plant in the form of these training cards. So I got azalea here, basil, then chamomile, and as for this one, I kind of forgot the name at the moment, like Damini or something. But yeah, so setting them up like training cards, that way it's quick, it's easy. And I'm doing this purely in ink and watercolor.
That looks gorgeous.
Thank you.
You ever consider like doing like a tarot card type of project?
I actually had that on the back burner too, because there's a couple of fan art that I've been wanting to do as well. Like, if anyone ever heard Pandora's Tower, it's like a hidden gem Wii game, and I love that game a lot, to the point I was gonna do like tarot card style of the 12 masters and such. That way, it's like still kind of show their elegancy, their strength. Like, I just love that game too much.
What influenced you to do something like this? Like, I mean, with me drawing like fan art and my comic books, it's through like watching anime and watching cartoons and comic books and all that. What influenced you to do art like this specifically?
This is where it gets a little bit muddy, because it's like related all back to my childhood.
Of course.
But honestly, art's been kind of a thing for me since I was maybe 3 or 4 at least. I don't know, like, this is actually the story my mom always loved sharing when it comes to how my talent was found. So it's like one day when I was maybe 4 years old or something, it was 4 or 5, I think. Like, Mom and I were driving through Pyramid Park Mall, and I had one of those little Etch-a-Sketch thing, like a toy.
Yeah, I remember Etch-a-Sketch. I remember that.
Yeah. And I actually have hearing issue along with speech impairment, so my development with the language was a little bit late. But so it's like I was trying to tell my mom something, but I have problem pronunciating and talking.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of like struggling or just going like I give up, I actually drew a bus on the Etch a Sketch because I tried to tell her something about a bus.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm even putting the details, like I did like the wheel, tried to get the door, the windows. Like she saw I had the knack for detail right there.
Oh
So
yeah.
eventually she actually got me into art classes. I pretty much grew from that. Then I started watching anime. Sailor Moon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Pokemon were my first three anime that I watched when I was a kid
Hmm.
and such. And next thing I knew, like the fan art stuff, like there was one day, Mom walked into the living room. She sees me literally pause the TV, grab a page of paper, and started drawing from the TV scene. So that got me into doing fan art, which eventually grew into what I was doing when I started the freelance and stuff. But then, the whole typical fan art versus original, like what's gonna sell better?
That's cool.
So yeah, so eventually I pushed the whole try to do fan art, but don't let it consume me. So that way, like, do originals as well. So that way, I have something to fall back on in case the fan art thing blows up in my face.
I definitely hear you on that. That's why I started working on the book and all that kind of thing. Because I was so involved doing like the fan art, and I understand. Not everybody, wants to buy original stuff. Things like that. They always feel scared because they're so used to the Wolverines and the Deadpool's and the Batmans and all that. But but there are people out there that do like to look for the next new best thing and whatnot. And having original art is nothing wrong with that, and nothing you can be scared at, And plus, it takes a good salesperson, haha, to go ahead to convince them otherwise and whatnot. And also having the right skills for it. And you got skills on this. This looks awesome.
Thank you.
This looks awesome. Definitely.
Yeah.
Keep going with that. I have a question on Facebook Live here from it came from the radio. He asks, how do you guys find the balance between letting your work sell itself and you being the salesperson when at conventions?
Are they asking
I
like how we balance art and personal life and work, or?
Uh,
Salesmanship, right?
I'll ask the question
versus just
again.
letting it sell for itself. Honestly, I have not mastered that skill yet, so I I wouldn't know.
Yeah. Just in case you didn't hear me, Rebecca, I'll repeat again. How do you guys find the balance between letting your work sell itself and you being the salesperson? I'm guessing he's asking that, like when you're at the convention and whatnot, do you allow your work to talk for you, or do you like actually trying to like sell it? Like, do you go there and talk to the customer, or do you allow it to, just have the customer come to your table and look at it and then let them walk away? Because I tell you one thing, and before you guys answered, it was like a short little thing that I remember. It was like during the early years when I went to Anime Fest. I don't know you guys remember Anime Fest before they merged with New York Comic Con with Repop. It was
Yes.
it
Think
was
so.
way back there in 2010. Um, I met somebody at a table and he was selling his book. Now I think he was telling me he was the writer, but and he hired someone to do the artwork. But long story short, too late. What happened was that when I was asking him questions about his book, like certain things whatnot, he was very stuttering, stammering over his words. You could tell he was really unprepared to engage into any conversation with the outside, whatnot. So it was very hard. I could see it would be very hard for him to sell his book, with that kind of mannerisms, unfortunately. So, do you guys find that you allow your work to sell yourself, or do you actually try to sell it? Like you talk to the customers and engage them into conversation.
I personally usually just like let my if that's the case, I usually just let my work sell itself in that case. I'm kind of terrible with words in general.
Yeah, but you work at don't you work in restaurants?
I used to. Now
So
I
you should
work
be
as
able to
a
talk to people all the time. You should be able to throw out the words.
Well, I mean,
Convince them to get that
that's a
drink.
totally different setting though. That's
Oh,
like
Up the
Yeah,
bill. Yeah, hey, sure you want the ribs with that too, and get another beer. Yeah, hey, you be able to up
uh,
that bill and up the ante onto your table as well.
well, no, I know where she's coming from
Ah,
because I know where she's coming from because I work at Home Depot and it's like,
It's a completely different environment. It's almost like a controlled environment as opposed to like now you're out in the open and there's sharks in the water and you're like, what's going on? How do
well,
I do this?
that and also it's like in that kind of environment, you do have someone to fall back on. Like on my end, it's like, oh, a customer get mad, manager, I need you down here.
Exactly. Or it's like, oh, I'm not able to get something for you. Let me go get my coworker. Sometimes if you're by yourself at a table, I feel like that's it. You're by yourself. Who
Yeah,
who who are you gonna go to? Like if you have a
you're,
partner, great. If you don't, then you're in open water.
yeah.
So I mean, I guess like what I'm starting to learn with that is maybe like keep a script and like I don't know, practice in the mirror.
Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely say on my end, like, I haven't mastered that either, but I have gotten better actually, because I'm actually thankful that my mom been helping me out with the tables.
Hmm.
So it's like, I normally let my art do the talking for me, because the thing is that I don't want to overwhelm the customer. So it's like they come up to my table, they're looking at the stuff, and it's like, okay, like just give them a minute, let them absorb what they want, and if they have a question, they can always ask me and such. But if I do see them like eyeing a specific item, and they're like, oh, I'm looking at this item, and they look like they're hesitating on something, then I'll chime in and go like, hello, do you need any help? And such. So that's when like I'll start trying to strike up a conversation.
Hmm.
So in your case, if I'm reading this correctly, you now have like that. Yes, you have that focus, and you can kind of like work with it.
Yeah, pretty much because I actually had that same experience when I approached the table and I'm looking at an artwork and such that I really want, but it's like, do I have the money?
Hmm.
So it's like I will do the same thing that I see my customers do all the time. So it's like it makes me a little bit on edge because like, oh my god, am I spending too much time at the table? Am I being weird? Like it makes me a little bit anxious. So by striking up the conversation, like kind of focusing on the whole, oh, they're interested in this item, it kind of make me feel like I'm helping them be at ease. Like, okay,
All right.
they're fine. They're fine. Like, I mean, it's like if they need help, I'm here.
True, true. And nothing wrong being. I know. I get what you're saying. You don't want to be too overbearing. You don't want to be too like hovering over them. And I get it. I understand that. Kyle, what about you?
Um, I've been doing conventions and shows, I believe, since 2015 at this
Hmm.
point.
Oh, you're a baby.
So yeah.
I don't know. That sounds like a
So,
veteran for me.
Better
Oh
for me
yeah.
too.
How long you been doing conventions, Carl? I mean, or I should, or when you,
So remember, like when we first met at MinCon and stuff, that was my first convention.
oh, okay. So you're the baby.
I think I'm the big baby too. Then I guess in this case.
Yeah. How long you been
I've
doing
had one
conventions?
year of con
Oh,
experience, so
oh,
I'm an
one
even
year?
bigger baby.
Oh
Yeah.
man. Oh, let's say so. I take that back, Kyle. Go ahead, man. You're the veteran. Go for it, man.
but
You got the battle scars.
Wait, have you
when
been
it
doing this for about 10 years? That's my
See?
question.
Well,
Have you been doing this for at least 10 years?
I've been doing it for 10 years as well.
well, I've been going to conventions since like what was it, 2005?
Yeah,
Since
but
like New York
selling,
Comic Con.
selling, selling at
Selling was
conventions.
actually 2015.
All right, there you go.
But when it comes to, I've been more introverted when it comes to usually selling at a show. So it over time, I've been able to grow and learn a lot. And it relates a lot to more of networking skills also. So like if you've done job fairs and things like that, so it's in the same framework of being like either passionate about what you have and stuff. Like sometimes whether it's the children's books that I do, or if it's my piece of artwork, if I see someone looking at it, I'll bring up that and things, and I'll be very passionate about what made me commit to like creating that, or if I see them wearing like Avatar The Last Airbender button or patch and stuff, I'll bring that up and strike up a
There you go.
conversation.
I love it.
Not always about like not always like trying to sell someone a product. It's all about like communicating, find common ground.
Yeah.
That's right. And plus you gotta pay back that table bill, yo.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like, on my end, it's just a matter of making sure the customer is at ease, because not everyone is confident. I had some customers who were so anxious that it's like, it's kind of like, I'm trying to figure out how to say this without making it seem like such a bad thing and such, because, like, I would sometimes have a customer come up to my table, they're, like, hunching like this, like, they're kind of withdrawing their bodies in. So it's like right off the bat, I can see they're anxious. So that's why I did the whole zip my mouth shut.
Yeah.
And such, let them settle down, and like just strike a casual conversation. Like try to like make them feel a little bit more relaxed. Like they're among peers.
What about you, Jen?
Well, I've been shy my entire life, so it's something I'm definitely still working on.
Okay.
Whenever people come to my table, I have like a scripted thing in my head where I'll tell them if something's on sale and point them to stuff, but it's a lot easier when I can see if there's like a specific show that they like when they see what I'm selling, because at that point we might end up going into a conversation about that show, and they usually end up becoming they usually end up buying something if we strike up a conversation, so it's like a positive experience for both of us.
You went through the journey together and reached the goal. Yes.
Yeah, basically.
Together. The funny thing is with me, I was I was kind of a shy kid when I was in high school, and I always used my artwork to express myself, to actually go ahead to communicate with others, to make friends. When I was in middle school to high school, I used to draw my own comic books and then integrate my friends into the story. Like I would draw them like cartoon characters, and I'll share them along with my friends, and people will see in my classroom, and then they'll spark up a conversation with me. Actually, if I could draw this, I could draw that. Things like that. So I that's what I have used to I guess communicate with others in a way where I can talk to them and do my art. But when I got a job at Radio Shack, and I'm going to bring up Radio Shack because Radio Shack definitely a birth of a new McKel, because Radio Shack doesn't train you to become salesmen; they train you to be hustlers. And
Yes.
and you make commissions. You have to, that's how you actually make your money. You can make minimum wage if you wish, but you can make commissions and make more money. And that's how it was at Radio Shack. Unfortunately, they're a relic and gone right now. But when they're in their golden years, they were awesome. So utilizing those salesmanship skills, I actually was really, there is what they show us. There's the greet. There is the qualify. This is the show, and then there is the finish. And that's what I use those tips to sell myself and to talk to the customer at my table to convince them by greeting, hello. So you give them an eye contact, you let them know that you acknowledge them, and then to qualify, ask them how they're doing. What are you looking in for today? And then once they tell you, and then what they like into, you show them something, and then you show. That's the next one, and then there is the finish, finishing the sale. Concluding it, ending it, so there will be no like them muttering, oh, I don't know, yeah. But you gotta like get in there and just finish it, and then grab them, and then that's when you get the sale, and then you'll be done with, and then you could go on with your life. But that's just how I do. That's just mainly how I do. And I used to be a manager. I turned my store into $1 million store in my days. I was the youngest manager with recognition in my time in my district, and I won a lot of awards, recognition, trips to like Bahamas because I sold a lot of cell phones, things like that. And I always, somehow, when I was in Radio Shack, I always run into that one cat coming to buy a microphone or PA system. They always want to be upcoming artists, hip hop artists or something like that. And I tell them about my drawing skills, and they will ask for either a tattoo, a logo, things of that nature. And I saw I was always still involved in that art field, even when I was as a manager. So those are the things that I utilized to help me out when I went out into the field of being like doing conventions. You know, I was never really a enclosed guy. Anyone that knows me in conventions, they always see me up and about talking to people and whatnot. And I have my partner there, Jay Scribble, who also helps me out as well, so I can at least flutter around and network with other people in the same timing. So that's my experiences when it comes to like bouncing it out with trying to do the sales and things like that. I have another question on the Facebook Live here. Um, it says here, speaking of cost, how do you decide the price points for your
Mm.
work? Like, how do you decide like is that worth it? Is that worth it? Things like that. Like when you do commission, especially, how do you decide on that? Like, this is how much I'm going to charge.
Basically like an hourly wage. Um, I know I've been told by a couple of friends that I actually undercharge myself a lot,
Good. Yeah.
depending, because like I mean, some work can take upwards to like 8 to 10 hours. In Kyle's case, it took like 100 and something hours.
Huh.
Yep.
So it's like it's all about how much you want to get paid, and at the end of the day, it's also not about like it's not about like how do I put it?
It's not about the money, it's about the passion.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I could believe
And
that, but passion don't pay rent.
yeah, but like in my case, I had one of my friends say, well, look at like the minimum wage of what it is and pay hourly. And I mean, it actually makes my artwork way too expensive, I feel like. But like,
My professor in college, he actually told me at one point, shout out to Appeasy, he told me that once you sell that one art piece, it could be for $1 to $5, could be anything, you are now a professional. When I was majoring in computer graphic designing, that's what he told me. He says it doesn't matter how much you sell, but once you do make that first sale, you are now considered a professional. And as a professional, you should always not sell down. I mean, you can always negotiate. I remember there was a partner, a friend of mine, who's we both graduated from the same school together, and we went to conventions. I know that he was definitely not doing like the prices, commissions of what it would cost, whatnot. But of course, I understand being a newbie. You want to just get the sale and be happy and stuff like that, and you don't want to scare them off by saying so much. But you should always, to me, I always say, always sell up, and then if they're not happy with the price, try to have like a leeway, like from where how low you could go on your price, and then negotiate from there. And that's how I normally do it. It's like if I'm doing a commission, like say I'm selling, like I'm doing a book cover, and I'll say, all right, I'm going to do so and so price. Like say I'm going to do $100 for the cover, and that's really a minimum. Some people charge more depending on the detail. I will say 100, and they, yeah, I don't know, and then I'll say, all right, how much you have in your budget to still to throw out for a cover. He would tell me the price, and then what I'll do is I'll throw $20 on top of that. Like, all right, I'll go from there or go halfway in. To me, that's how I do it. Anyone disagree? Agree?
Yeah,
no,
I
that
mean,
sounds like a pretty sound thing.
yeah, I mean, like a lot of people actually mention that kind of method with that kind of stuff. Like on my end, it's more of am I mass producing or is it going to be a one-time thing?
Right.
And a lot of time with my mass production, I usually go with more of like, technically speaking, like this is where things got a little bit rocky when I first started because like I was undercharging so much, but I'm like, I tell people like, but my skill's not that good enough.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
but it's just like, trust me when I tell
Well,
you.
no. It's like I will honestly say this. Compared to what I do now, and such, my stuff looks like a child did it. It's like, like that's how I felt when I first made those years ago.
Mm.
But it's like
Mm.
nowadays, like whenever. like I charge by the sizing more or less. Like when I do like my illustration, for example, I actually charge by the size. So this one being like a 2 by 3 and such. Like sometime depending on how detailed the work is, sometime I'll just charge it by the size alone plus shipping and handling, or sometime double the prices. So in this case, because something like this was very easy to do, maybe only took me 2 hours and such, only took me longer because I was mass producing these. But something like that, like easily $6, $7 because it's kind of within my the whole price charge sizing thing. But for the bigger work, it's like yeah, pretty much like the sizing wise, and it's like $2 per square feet, square inch. I mean, so it's like so say for example, someone's getting a 4 by 6 and such. That like is like a 4 by 6. Due to the pandemic, I did drop it to $1 per square inch, so something like that would be $24 easily.
Hmm.
But and a lot of people have got on my case going like, "Oh, you're overcharging. That's not right." I always
They
I always
do
tell
know
them,
that you have like materials that you have to consider too, right?
well, that I mean, like a lot of stuff I'm just doing it on paper because I do watercolor and ink. But I always tell people that the reason why the pricing is the way it is because these illustrations are one of a kind. Like the commissions, I do one of a kind. I don't reproduce them.
That's right.
So that's why I intentionally let the price be that high, because you're not just paying for my material, you're also paying for my time, and you're paying for the uniqueness. You're pretty much paying me extra by like and doing a whole like, okay, this is a no touch zone. Do not reproduce them.
Hmm. Do you have like a contract set up where you have something, like when you do a commission, especially you talk about with the no not reproducing and different rules to the game of of your work. Do you have like a contract written up and for them to sign and things like that put on record?
When I first started, not really.
Yeah, I
Like
can understand that.
I didn't know anything about contract stuff. But eventually the more I did this and was getting like bigger deals coming in, which most of the time blew up in my face and such because they wanted me to work for peanuts
Hmm.
and such. I That's how I learned about contract the hard way. But
Yeah, yeah.
but
Mm,
for my commission, for my illustration, I actually purposely put it in my term of like not term of conduct, like the whole like you know how we had those term and conditions. I
yeah.
Yeah,
purpose
yeah.
Yeah.
I purposely set that up with the whole like before you order any commission, like before you order any of those one of a kind illustration, please read my term of service first before you order,
Hmm.
because I abide by those rules. If you cannot follow those rulings, I cannot help you. Such depending on situation, I may be willing to be flexible. I may be willing to negotiate. Like I had a customer who ordered a $500 painting from me,
Hmm.
and
Mm.
right off the bat, like I knew the person had finance issue, so I was willing to negotiate. Okay, let's do a payment plan. So it's like for every like quarter, so they'll pay me X amount. I work X amount
Hmm.
and such. So it's like until they pay in full, I don't paint the picture in full.
That sounds fair.
Oh yeah, definitely does.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah.
they had no problem with that. Next thing I know, they pay it off. I finished the painting and such, and they love it.
Yeah, I had something like that done when I used to do websites. I don't do those things anymore because everyone and their mama now can build their own website with the whole new apps they have out there. But long story short, it was a pain to at least get the last two payments in because they always come out with some kind of financial issues down the line later, whatnot. I mean, obviously, it's like it'd be within mid production of the website, so it's nothing like I lost time. I just got paid for whatever time I did put on it, and then it would just be laid out in limbo. Kyle, you mentioned to me a while back about a certain book for artists that they can look up for, like, say, price wise and engagements or whatever. What was the name of that book? Just for people that's
Um,
listening or anyone else here they might want to look into.
the Graphic Arts Guild pricing guide.
Right.
So it has listings for different structures. So whether it's a logo or website or an illustration for comic books, children's books, it has listings for all those, which is a standard rate. And they come out with one edition every year, every 2 years. But it's usually up to date, and on their website they have a lot of the information that's key. So it's like the Graphic Arts Guild pricing guide. I have that book on my shelf. I'll pick it up and.
I'm gonna have to look into that book.
While you look for that, Kyle, Jen Lee, do you deal with, like, say, contracts, things like that when you do animation? Have you got clients to hire you to do animation?
Yeah. Well, for contracts, I actually don't really do contracts if it's like a smaller scale project, like if they just want like a 5-second GIF or something like that.
Right.
But for larger stuff, like if they want me to do animation for their YouTube channel or something, that's when contracts come into play. And it's actually kind of interesting for animation because a lot of the times, a lot of people don't really know how much animation should cost. So price negotiation can turn into like this really big make it or break it thing, because that's the point where I usually have to like tell someone the reality of how much it's going to cost and like
and
scale
animation,
of what they should aim for with their project and stuff like that.
And animation is no easy thing. I mean, like I could imagine, like with Kyle doing 80+ hours on that piece. For you, just to have someone just blink, it's like I feel like hours of work. You know what I mean? So I can understand. That's your life you're throwing out there and whatnot. So I mean, of course, you want to get paid for your time and whatnot. So yeah, I definitely hear you on that point. Do you make up the prices as to how you feel comfortable with, or do you use any type of thing that you do research on and work on that kind of price?
It's a bit of both.
Okay.
Like, for indie animation, usually $1,000 per minute is the expected price, but that's not really what a lot of people think of if they're not really experienced with animation, so they'll go lower with the price.
Pricing.
So what usually happens is that I ask them what their general budget is, and if they have like storyboards or character designs done already, and we try to work something out between that. Sometimes this usually means that the project gets smaller scale and size, so suddenly it'll go from a minute to just like half a minute.
Right. Let's see here. Kyle, I see you bringing in, what's this? You have like 3 cameras here. What's going on, Kyle? You taking over?
Apparently.
You're multiplying, Kyle. What's up with this? Oh, okay. There we go. So hello. Hi. So go ahead. You found that book, Kyle?
Yeah, I found it. What is it? So it's called the Graphic Arts Guild. Hold on. There we go. So yeah. So
all right. Yeah, I think I had a book like that. I think the same professor I just mentioned earlier, he actually told me about this book. I have an older volume, obviously, of that handbook, whatnot. It's pretty good. It has a lot of good, interesting reading. If you, for any artists out there that's not sure about how much to charge for certain projects, this will definitely help you, give you a couple of guidelines and examples. And it even have like examples of contracts in there too, right, Kyle?
Yes, it has numerous examples for contracts, especially when it comes to different, like if you're doing a cover image versus interior, they have different loadouts for that. I have a photo of it. I'll bring that up in a second.
I could actually use something like that. Cause I suck with making contracts.
See, but yeah, it's helped me out a lot in terms of like negotiations, especially as I gotten older, because it's something that, you know, like when it comes to like a regular, like, here we go, comparative rates when it comes to for comic art, and then you get like the writing and plot scripting and pretty much it has listings for all different avenues depending on like what you're trying to go for. for what someone's hiring you for.
Wow, look at that. Writing,
Yeah.
paint art, pencil art, ink art, lettering,
Yeah,
coloring art.
that actually is normal because I actually went to a comic art making panel one time at the Garden State Comic Con or something like that.
Hmm.
And they actually did say all of those categories, like, okay, there will be someone doing the penciling, that stuff gets passed off to the inker, then that gets passed off to the letterer or whatever
Yeah.
and such. So they pretty much went into detail with those stuff. So that actually kind of makes sense with those pricing stuff.
You know, the funny thing is, I wish I could have people to do my book that way. Have find an inker and a colorer and whatever. I'm like a one-man army. I'm doing everything myself. You know, the cover art and everything, whatnot. So you know, it's a lot of work into it, and I'm sure Kyle could definitely back me in on that one. You have like 22 books last time we talked, right, Kyle?
Yes. Currently, I have around 22 children's books, and then I'm working on a few
Wow.
side projects. And this was in the last 3 years, pretty much.
Wow, man. You don't see the sunlight at all, right? That's why your eyes are closed, right? The light in
In a
your room
way.
is bright.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, if anything, I wish that I had the same thing with the children's books and such, because I keep applying to a lot of children's book illustration job, and it's like I don't know if I'm coming across too strong in those cover letters. Like, do y'all know Upwork and such? Like, I've been applying through there, and it's like trying to get a bite, but it's like no one is hiring and such. And it's like, okay, those who were interested, it's more like, okay, we want those high quality illustration you do, but we'll pay you $5 for it.
Yeah, then
Yeah.
Yeah, not worth the time.
Yeah,
No.
like those kind of deals, I'm like, this is my price. This is what it is. I'm sorry, there's not much I can do.
You know, the funny thing
That's-
is, when I was a newbie in it, when I was just like fresh out of college and actually gained clientele, I was hanging out with this music distributors. They were, I'm not going to say the name, but one of their clients, she was looking for a CD cover. This was for graphic designing. She was looking for a CD cover for her CD release she was doing in a month or so in Brooklyn. And she came to me and she was like, come on, we're fam. You could give me a deal, such and such, things like that. And I had the same mindset. I'm doing it for the passion and for the experience. And so the money's really not a really big issue. So I charge whatever I charge. And so I gave like a very low spit price. And my partner or a friend of mine who I thought was legit was telling me that they're like, yeah, she has connections with a printer that will definitely do the prints for her for free, or a really low discount price. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm like, all right. So I gave my client the price. I'm like, all right, this is something I'm gonna charge, and I did the cover. It was like a 4-page flip page, that you put into the casing. So it was a lot of work. I had the tracks, I had the bios, I had the cover work, I had the artwork, faces, images, the whole nine and whatnot. This was good because I was learning how to do Excel and I was learning how to do the layout. So, I was getting the experiences while I was working on this thing. I worked really hard on it. Long story short, if I had did it legitly, like pretty much stay fixated on the price that I gave, and I already knew a printer place that would have done the deal very nicely. Long story short, and I know I keep saying that, but it didn't happen. Whatever happened with the printer that this my friend recommended me to use, I never got the prints. I kept hearing next week, it will happen, and I felt really bad. If I just had stick with my guns and say, all right, this is how much everything will cost, and for my time and for the printers and then whatnot, things probably would have been legit. I actually felt so bad with my own cut of the money. I went to Kinko's and got the things cut, and I only had to do like a back and front flip. It wasn't like the 4-page fancy, dancy, glossy look. No, I went to Kinko's, got like at least like a just a back and front flip uh, CD cover, and I cut it myself out of in Kinko's, and I went out to the release show, and hopefully she would have used them, but it was, you know, I was looked at as the bad guy, and it kind of messed me up with the next client within their distributor and whatnot, because I was trying to do a cover for this other crew they had, and they looked at me and looked at her as, my partner, I should say at the time, um, as like a bad deal. So I never got any more work. I mean, never got payment with them or whatever. It was
Mm.
it was like a really bad notion. But you know what? It taught me a good lesson. You know what I mean? It's um, don't try to make deals that people cannot pay for, and also rely on your own resources when it comes to, like, say, trying to get the job fully done. I believe my partner at the time saying that, yeah, the person will do it. I never talked to the person. I said, give me the number. The person probably took the money. I mean, my partner, I should say, took the money and promised glitter and gold and rainbows and cupcakes and whatnot. So it is what it is. I mean, for people out there that's becoming artists, these are the experiences that some artists get. And it's unfortunate, but you learn a great lesson. Anyone have any nightmare clients in their days that they dealt with?
Oh my god.
Oh.
Like, I
Yeah.
got like a phone call 3 o'clock in the morning telling me stop the presses on a flyer because the rapper artist has an issue with one of the producers that's supposed to be at the CD release party. You ever get a phone call 3 o'clock in the morning tell me stop the press? I had no power like that to stop the presses. It already went out. But anyway, I'm sorry, cutting one off. Go ahead, please tell me your stories about your nightmare clients.
No, so I had this one person who
No
I
names.
met. I'm not naming any names. This is when I was working at this wine bar, and they were doing like, a vino and vibes type of deal. Okay, so it was chill. The people were chill. I love the artist that I was working with, like that was like interacting with is a better word. And there was this one person, and they were just like, oh wow, okay, so they asked a commission for me, and at the time I wasn't comfortable selling fan art, and this person wanted an Inuyasha fan art. Now, I wasn't confident in my drawing at the time. I mean, I charged him like $20 for a full shaded drawing, which stupid me. But like, I wasn't comfortable with it, but I still did it. Fine, all well and good. Then he starts talking about how he wants to buy one of, like, commission me for a design and buy it so he can, resell it on a t-shirt. And I'm like, okay, okay. And then it was like another Inuyasha thing. Only he's like, okay, draw this exactly like this, only that he's wearing a hat. And I'm like, isn't that kind of plagiarism?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
if you think about it, I mean, like even all of us kind of like, do a little bit of that and be drawing other people's characters. I mean, it's a very gray line in
Yeah.
between.
But it's more like
But you want me to draw like exactly like it? The only difference is having Inuyasha like wear a hat or something.
yeah,
Are
that's
you
what
tracing
I
it?
was about to bring up, because the whole
I wasn't gonna trace it, but like he wanted me to like draw it exactly like it. I was like, no, I'm not comfortable doing that.
yeah, that would usually be the only difference. If the guy asked you to do it in your style, then it's not really copying.
Right.
Well, it's kind of copying, but not really. But if he drew
Yeah,
you to do exactly,
if I did something like that, I wouldn't do it for profit. That's the thing. It's like I wouldn't like try and sell like the same thing. It's like I understand that like the creative Inuyasha is not gonna like come from my head at 3 a.m. and be like, like no, they're not gonna do that. And like, but I was like, I told him no, I'm not comfortable doing this. He's like, okay, so how about I don't pay you for that? That way you're comfortable doing it, and you just
What?
give me something else.
Mm-mm.
And I'm just like, no. No.
That's a hard no, my dude.
Free art, no. And then I promptly blocked him.
Yeah.
No, I did something
Oh,
like that.
sorry. I'm like doing checking out the sound. I hope you didn't hear that in the background. All right, go ahead.
But yeah,
Anyone?
no,
Yeah.
that's my horror story, and that's when I learned that I need to start setting boundaries. So
Yeah.
if you're not comfortable doing something, like just set it straight. Don't sit there and be like, well, I guess. No, no. Just
Yeah.
set your boundaries.
Yeah,
Have
true
them
enough.
respected. If they don't respect your boundaries, they're not worth dealing with.
That's right.
Yeah. At least on the bright side, yours didn't go after you for technically extortion.
Oh wow.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, so this was when I was doing Upwork, I was also doing Fiverr and such, and I did got some sales on Fiverr, but then there was this one guy, I'm not gonna name names because I don't even know if the name he had was even real and such. But okay, he
It's like,
messaged
okay,
me. Me.
Joe Smith, if that's your real name.
Well, no. Here's where main problem number one. He is technically stationed in India.
Ah.
So it's
Hmm.
like, so I'm like, ooh, my second international order. Like I already had one before, and it was not bad actually. Like able to work things out. But this one was more of, well, no, not India. It was Thailand and such. But basically, so this guy reached out to me. He wanted my watercolor illustration, like those whole special ones, and he said that, hey, I need a few illustrations for a baby shower. So I'm like, ooh, like interesting, because I never done something like that. So I saw that as a challenge and such to better myself. So it's like he was on a budget, and the amount he wanted, I could not do because that would pretty much be it's like we had a compromise somewhere. The whole he wanted 10 illustration. I told him how much it was going to cost for that. He didn't have the money, so we had to figure out some way to make it work without cutting corners too much. So what we wound up doing is 6 illustration, like a 4x6 little illustration and such of woodland fantasy-like creature and such. That, and I always did the whole like a mom and a baby pair because it's supposed to be a baby shower, so why not?
Hmm.
So I mean, all is well and such. And he said that he had a little problem with finance, and Fiverr takes a nice chunk out of like all the transaction. So we pretty much it's against Fiverr ruling of using out like third party payments like PayPal
Oh
and
really?
such.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hmm.
but we did that, and I just noticed my cat in the background.
Yeah, yeah. I was checking them out.
Yeah.
Cute.
Yeah, I just saw him like just giving himself a little lick, but so it's like, okay, like just to make it a little bit easier on both of us, we did the PayPal thing. I didn't realize it was against protocol, Fiverr. So everything was good. I did the illustration. I sent him the final copies of everything, through email because like he's on the other side of the world
Yeah.
and such. So this is where things gone south, and I mean south and such. Like I have my watermark on it, like I signed it because, you know, I'm trying to promote and also protect my stuff.
Mhm.
But at the same time, he asked me to remove my signature
Oh
completely.
no.
Oh no.
Completely. So he asked me to remove my signature. I told him no and such. Then he started demanding that I remove my signature by flat out saying, I pay for the stuff, it is mine now, take it off.
I hate that.
And on top of that, he started demanding for all the original files,
What?
which got me thinking he did not notice that all of my stuff was traditional.
Mm.
Because he flat out said, oh, I'm part of this company that makes these cards and we want the original file so we can make some editing if needed. And I'm like, oh my
Didn't
god,
even realize.
I showed them the work in progress. All of them been traditional.
Yeah.
And so there is no way you can fix that unless you botched it. So it's like, I pretty much told him that the only time I'm willing to remove my signature completely, if you pay me $1,000
That's what I'm gonna
per
say.
illustration.
Yeah.
Pretty
That's what I'm
much,
gonna say.
pretty much paying for the license.
That's right.
Like
That
paying
makes
for the
sense.
license, the rights, all that. And I told him, $1,000 per illustration up front.
That's right. I was just gonna bring that up. Good point. I was gonna
Yeah,
bring that up.
so it's like next thing I knew, I'm getting in trouble with Fiverr because he reported me to them for extortion.
Oh,
Because he
shoot.
said, because he's claiming the illustration is his because he paid for it. And he tried to pull up the copyright law with the whole like, oh, it's in my name now because I own it. Dude, according to copyright, when it comes to 2 different countries, from what I read, is that the original location is what the copyright law applies to. So in this case, the illustration came from the United States, where I hold the rights to the illustration, not him. So then afterwards, it's like pretty much when it was obvious he wasn't gonna get his way because the whole like he wanted the files, he wanted the way things was. I flat out told him I thought this was personal, not commercial. If it was commercial, I would have never accepted this in the first place. And such, regardless of the money and such. And it's next thing I know, I'm getting pretty much banned from Fiverr just from one little problem, which would be, well, he's claiming extortion, but Fiverr pretty much banned me from ever going on their website again.
Wow.
Because I used a third party for payment. And I provided them all the evidence showing that the client was the one that said all that, like, pretty much I was not at fault. They didn't care. They banned me from the website, and I'm like, okay, fair enough. They obviously don't care about their creator, so I'm not gonna give them my business anymore. Like, bye, peace out, sayonara, like all the goodbyes in the language.
Wow.
But that was the worst one.
How long ago that was? How long ago that happened?
Like about a year or 2 ago.
Okay. I can
Yeah.
feel the pain. That's what I'm saying. I feel like this was this recent, yo. I can feel the pain.
I mean, like, it was kind of recent because I haven't been at Home Depot for long. Maybe 2 years I've been at Home Depot, and this was when I was like within halfway of the first year. That's how I remembered.
Yeah. It's, a friend of mine recommended Fiverr to me. That's where things like you commission people for like $5 and up, right? That's why they call it Fiverr. That's what they call it.
Yeah,
it's like
kind of low.
Yeah, Fiverr is like you could be charging peanuts and such, and people just gobble it all up and such. I mean, I was getting some hits and such, but like I said, because that one idiot and such just had to ruin it all. So just because he didn't get his way.
So you would recommend it for artists to try them out if they're looking for to gain clientele?
Well, it's more like what I've learned from this is make sure you have clear communication of the intention and such, because that was my mistake. Like, because I assumed it was all personal, such. I did not know it was for commercial use. Like I said, like if I had known it was commercial, I would have never accepted it. And such. So, pretty much note to self: if for any project, make sure that it's not commercial. Like, make sure I know everything.
Yeah, clean communication between you and the client, definitely. And it's probably even twice as hard because you're talking through like emails and stuff like that, which is still key element. I always recommend if you want to talk to a client about anything about that's due to the project, I always recommend through emails because you can have all that stuff on record. And does that even help, if anything, or did you talk to this person over the phone, or was it through just emails?
I usually say just keep I don't rely on using phone unless it's absolutely last minute or something.
Yeah.
But it's like pretty much have written record of everything, because there was another nightmare client I had, although it wasn't as bad as the other one. But it pretty much proved that written proof is everything.
Oh yeah.
Because I was doing comic art for a customer.
Right.
But the thing was, it had unfortunately, miscommunication, of course, happened. And this was like years ago, but she filed a dispute on PayPal because she, again, wasn't getting what she wanted. but because of what the other partner wrote and such, like because the one word that she wrote sample for like, okay, here's your payment for sample. Because of that one word, that pretty much saved my butt. That PayPal go like, you pay for the sample. Like, why are you even bothered to like trying to file this? Like, get it out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's like, yeah, like I said, this is why I always say, always have written proof, like written everything, like written records.
Most definitely.
You never know when they're gonna help you.
Emails can hold up in court.
Emails can hold up in court. I would try again and try to talk back, whoever you can in customer service and Fiverr, so you can get your account back active again. I would try again and whatnot. I mean, I want to give up on that.
Oh wait, what about the customer service? I kind of clipped out a little.
No, I would go back to Fiverr and try to claim another.
I've already done that. I've done everything I could with them, and they're like, well, you don't have enough evidence and such. It's like
even with the emails.
What?
Even with the emails that shows that this guy was acting fishy.
I had the message. I had everything.
Wow.
They didn't care. They didn't care.
Well, they're lost because they could have probably made some cuckoo bucks from you. They're lost. What about you, Kyle? You were blessed, right? Every client you had was just loving you, right?
Not exactly. Mostly, it's been especially when it comes to writing the children's books. The
show
issue
your work,
I always
share your work right there. I see you. You know what? Let me see if I can share that. I'll pin that up here for people to see that what you're working on. There we go. All right, go ahead, talk.
So yeah, mostly it's just been with me. It's been related to children's books, comic books, and some commission work. But one thing I always try to put in my contracts now is upping the price depending on how many revisions are done. So I had a client recently and stuff. I charged them, I think, $100 to do like a T-shirt design and things, and I did like maybe about 3 of the designs. And I have a clause in the contract where if I do some of the work or something, I get paid for a certain amount. It's just to protect myself because the person wanted like I think close to 8 different revisions and stuff like that. And it was just dragging on the actual project. And I told him I can't keep doing revisions for something that you wanted a caricature of you and another person and stuff like that. And pretty much I did it like 2 or 3 times, 4 times, something like that. And then by the 5th and 6th, they said like, oh, I'm going to send you another photo of their relative or something like that. And I told them, I'm going to have to charge you more and stuff like that just because of all the revisions and things. Even with my children's book work, I have to go over the contract, and that's one of the pluses to having an agent or somebody that's actually works in law look at the contract and stuff, so you can add in those extra things. So when it comes to doing work on it and stuff, and I usually go through the process and tell them like, oh, I'm doing this, doing B, C, D, just so that like as I'm going along, they're not getting upset or angry and stuff like that. And then I can tell them like, oh, you told me that this is fine, and it's not like I'm doing too many changes to the piece and stuff by the time I'm done with it. But my major thing is always having a contract where I put in, if you want extra work done on a certain piece, I have to charge you more.
I've been there, done that. I definitely agree on that point. Always have something to fine line there. Any revisions or any type of changes or whatnot, I have to charge you extra and have X, Y, and Z how much, or depending on the big change. If it's a huge change, like the whole thing, then I have to charge you basically the same thing all over again.
Exactly.
I definitely agree on to that point. So I think a plane is crashing. Whose plane is crashing?
Yeah, I live near a private airport. Sorry about that.
It's all good. What about you, Jen? We haven't heard from you for a while. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Okay, so this didn't actually end up turning into like actual work in the end. I didn't put any work into it, but it was just like a dodged bullet. So earlier this year, I got contacted by like a small boutique studio in Canada. They wanted to outsource one of their projects over to a freelancer, and they like sent me this big email with all the information, and everything pretty much checked out. It was like a 15-minute pitch promo, and they had like the character designs and stuff already, and they were paying like, I want to say $2,000 for it, and I was like, oh, that's pretty good for everything I'm seeing right now.
Yeah.
So well, I didn't really agree to it yet, but I basically just kept asking for some more information, and we were basically nearly about to start the project, but then they sent me the script, and it was like 3 pages long, and it was all blocky text. Like the paragraphs were entire blocks. There were barely any paragraphs at all. And I was just like, look, buddy, this isn't 15 seconds. What are you trying to do with me right now?
Yeah, like 3 pages? Really?
Wow.
And after that, I didn't get an email back for like a week, and they said that this was a rush project. So I'm just like, what is going on here?
Wow.
And
No.
then when they finally emailed me, and they pretty much got the hint that I wasn't gonna go on with this, and they made it seem as if I wasted their time. So yeah, I don't know.
And you got so it didn't end up as a sale after all. It was just an inquiry basically.
Yeah.
You know, I always find that weird too. I always get a lot of inquiries where they'll say, "Oh, how much to do like a 3-chapter book on so character that has not been written yet, or no chapters in written yet, and then I'll need you to help me in the writing and whatnot." And I'm like, I'll be like, they say it's like they have an idea. I get it, you have an idea, but you don't even have like an idea of like the character design or or at least a written out script. They wanted me to do the storyboarding as well, which was kind of cool because I could have control of how I wanted to draw it out, which is all right. But then again, it's like, I don't know where this is going to end. I mean, like, if you don't even have a script written out for me to at least tell how much in plain detail or what kind of drawing, period of piece what I'm doing, I don't know how much to charge you. I mean, like, I need some kind of script, and then you're going to ask me to do like to help you with the script writing as well. All right, so I say, all right, so give me a summary. That's what I'll say. Give me a summary of what you're looking to do. Um, Give me like some kind of idea, character designs that you're looking at. What timepiece we're doing. I mean, asking me to do something that's so open. I obviously can't tell you a price for that. I mean, that's like, you know, I don't know. I can't do that. It doesn't work that way. It's hard. I know. Of course, I never heard from the person again. That's just one example, but there was many others beyond that. People always say I'm working on a video game or a card game, and like they want some character design and stuff like that. And they'll ask me how much, and then I'll be like, well, do you have examples of what you're looking for? And then I never hear from them again. I'm like, okay. I mean, all right, whatever. I mean, I'll just have more time to spend on my own project. That's fine. I'm cool with that. Does anybody want to share anything that they're working on, like any type of projects they're working on for people to see? We have a few minutes left. Anyone want to show their work? Kara, you were the winner of MCon Anime Fest drawing contest and whatnot, and she got her drawing out there to be icon character. Kara, are you still there, or you knocked out?
I'm still here. I'm still
okay.
here.
Okay, I thought Jen might have got you with the Death Note.
No, not yet.
Oh my God! How many Death
I
Notes are we
actually
gonna
do
have?
have a Death
I know,
Note
I'm
lying
just saying.
around somewhere.
That's the second. We got another blacked out window, so I'm wondering what's going on. It's like y'all can be taking us out one by one.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I have something that I finished working on like a couple of weeks ago that I
Yes,
worked
please.
on as a birthday present for a friend. Hold on.
Yeah, screen share. Please show us your work. I would love to see some stuff here.
Yes, please share with the classroom.
Hold on, I'm just setting it up real quick.
Yeah. And on my end, I'm just doing last minute thing on my end. I just finished the fourth card, so
All right. Okay, you can show us afterwards. And then Jen, do you have anything you want to show us?
Yeah, I've got like an animation I can show.
Excellent. And then afterwards, we'll check out Kyle's what you look like he's starting something there, but he's been on display for the longest. So if you have something you want to show too, you can also show. And then we'll give out
sure.
everybody's social handle so they can check it out. Let me see
that
it.
looks so nice.
I'm just going to at the screen there. Here we go. Wow, that is beautiful.
Yeah, that was one of the ones I was working on. This took me like, I don't know, like a week or two, like on and off. This was actually for one of my friends who does woodwork, so shout out to Shay Jones. Haha. This was, let's see, and then if anyone's watched
Hasbro Hotel.
Yeah, I did a little fan art for it. Took me like 3 consecutive nights while playing that darn song on loop.
Yeah, the Attic song.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so sad and so beautiful. And then there's this one. So I don't know if anyone's noticed. There was like that weird like audio ad that was going around about some like purple bear and stuff.
Educate me.
Her name was Lil Yamaha and all this stuff, and I'm just like, oh my god, why am I thirsting for this purple bear right now? Like, had like, she's actually on Spotify if you want to look up Lil Yamaha. It's like such a vibey sound to it. I love it. So yeah, I worked on this for a couple days.
Nice. And what is your technique? I mean, I know this is all fully digital. You work on a tablet. Yes, correct?
Yeah. So I mean, let's see. That's the PNG, but like, hold on. Let me just. If you want to look at the amount of like flipping slide like layers and slides, and it's so painful. So let's see if I can share this again. Like just on this project alone, let's see. So I mean, you see all the little stuff like my signature over here, the sketch.
Yeah.
Let's just real quick get rid of that. And you could like see the sketch here. The amount of times I worked on that sketch was insane. And then if I open up this itty bitty little thing here, there's all these. There's the coloring and the line for the lines themselves. There's that coloring I do underneath the lines. There's the flats. Like it's like Inception, but with digital drawing.
And it's all this on Paint Tool.
Yeah, all this on Paint Tool side.
Nice.
So
that's some work. And I definitely understand. My wife always teases me all the time, especially when I do my work on Photoshop on large projects. She says, "Oh my God, look at all those layers." I mean,
oh my goodness! When I was doing the commission work I remember when she wanted me to do her character with Frieza.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yes, good work.
Layers. Yes. The layers killed me. That and Frieza's head because his face is so impossible. I was like staring at his face for like hours. I was like, how am I gonna draw your face?
When I do, especially when I do Dragon Ball, like you were mentioning with Frieza, especially like Super Saiyans because of their hair and whatnot, it's always the same thing. I usually get at least maybe 200 to over 300 layers. Due to the fact, only reason why is because I use the pen tool. And I do every shading with it's a vector shape. Every shading, so I get that nice clean cut look, I mean, instead of
what's it called? What software do you use?
I use Adobe Photoshop.
I see. So that's where the vector things come from.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, with Paint Tool side, I know there's like a line art tool, like a lining tool where you can kind of like manipulate the points of it, where you can kind of like, what's it called? Manipulate how it is.
Right. So, it has the anchors, right? It has the anchors and where you can bend and reshape and all that, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. The anchor.
Right. Yeah. So that's what I have. I use the pen tool. Yeah, I use the pen tool, and what I do is like with the dark shading, the light shading. Next time I should have my Photoshop open because I have so much things going on my laptop. I don't want it to bust a gut on on while we're
Oh
live
my
streaming here.
goodness.
But
I've been thinking about like maybe getting what's it called? Getting an actual computer because I mean I work on a Surface Pro on my Surface Pro
yeah,
and I can't exactly stream on it, which kind of stinks because otherwise that thing starts to skip, it
yeah.
starts to
Yeah.
bog down.
Well, since I've been working from home for the since the shutdown, I've been utilizing my laptop to the fullest, and it's an old laptop. It gets me by for
Mhm.
small projects, and I normally, I mean, hopefully my job ain't listening. I would work on some of it, like say any projects at during work hours. Um, So I would like do something like that, and it's because it's a better hard drive, and it could handle the file size a little bit better.
Yeah.
But since I'm working from home, I'm doing everything for work and personal projects at home. So now, believe it or not, even earlier today, I was looking into upgrading to another Dell laptop, something a little bit more with a better processor and video card. Because as you can see, I can't even put my camera on due to the fact that I think my video card is probably busted or something. Because every time I go on Zoom, I can never put on my webcam. It will say something's wrong, and then my Zoom would like freeze on me. Anyway, I'm rambling. I don't want to take up too much time. Anyone else want to show them what they got? Show me what
Yeah.
you got.
I'm actually going to show off the final card because I just finished it,
Yes,
but
please.
I can't screen share because my camera just died
Oh,
and
okay.
such. So I just gonna show it through here.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pin.
Gosh, I love it.
There we
Yeah,
go.
Wow.
and I actually have the name labeled back here. This flower is actually called Damiana.
That
Nice.
is beautiful.
I love the graded and the fade in, fade out with the light and dark colors and whatnot.
Yep.
Wow. How long does it take you to do one certain card? I don't know if I heard you mention that. Like that certain card, how long it will take you to actually from start to finish?
It actually varies from time to
Okay.
time, like kind of like basil, chamomile, azalea. Like I already knew those flowers right off the bat, so it didn't take me long. Like
Right.
maybe 2-3 hours top, so
Okay.
from sketch to finish.
Right.
But this flower I didn't know, so I had to do a little bit double checking, making sure I had the right one.
Right.
Because the one thing that a lot of people don't realize with flowers is that like a lot of these names have subspecies. So it's more of I need to make sure that the amount of petals are right, the shaping. Like I had like some flowers I had to do a little more research. So
There's like
research usually add like an extra hour.
Hmm.
So in this case, this one would have was more like 3 to 4, really.
3 4 hours. Nice.
Yeah.
Um, Also, did you use a little bit of like white ink in there? I see some splatter here and there for a little highlight. Do you use a little white ink in there?
The white ink I would have used and
Oh,
such.
okay.
Unfortunately, well, I mean, I do have my white India ink, but it's too transparent
Okay.
and such. Where some spot I'm trying to make it a little more bold, so I just use acrylic.
Okay, there you go.
Paint.
Nice.
very
Okay, very
nice.
cool.
Yeah, but sometimes if I want to get that nice fade where it's not too sharp, like with my chamomile, for example,
Hmm.
instead of using paint, where did I put that? Like instead of using the acrylic paint because that would have been too strong, I use white color pencils actually.
Oh,
So
very-
it's like I have the tan cream kind of background going, and then I just use white color pencil, do like a little, like kind of like gradient with circling and such. So that way it comes up, but it's not too strong, like bam in your face.
Hmm.
Because the purpose, the style I'm going with these cards is supposed to be like a soft, gentle colors, like still strong with the contrast, but not too bright. It's kind of like the sketchbook beige color, a little pastel-y kind of idea.
Very cool. And then your skills definitely shows your work. Like you've been doing this for a while, so you definitely have some skills onto that. I wish the library was still open because we actually do like monthly at the library like a small browsing room art viewing. So like like we have a thing usually sometimes we call miniature art sales. usually around this time, or for the holidays or whatnot. That's coming soon. Oh God, holidays. How holidays the holidays going to be this year? I have no idea. But anyway, I digress. What I was going to say
I don't know
was
either.
the miniature art sales that would have worked out fine. Especially if you put it like on like a small little frame or a little easel. I know somebody, Brendan from the Fat Guys Inc. If some of your guys know, he does like very small portrait art, and you have like these little easels, things like that. He would sometimes sell those. That would have been perfect for that, man. Wow, that's cool.
Yep.
Kyle, you want to show us anything?
Oh, sure. Let me see if I can bring it up. Yeah, so I finished up the 5 issues of this in terms of like the actual scripts of them. I just have to go through the illustrations and actually draw it out. And then once that's done, I'm going to have a few people edit it and look at it and stuff like that. Even if I have to add like another 10, 20 pages and stuff, I wasn't expecting to get this out till like at least the beginning of either the end of next year or the beginning when conventions go back. So I figured I can have it done by then. This is like the first book in that 22 book series and stuff like that. We might be doing another set, but I have to see about that. And then this was just a rough design. I'm starting work on my graphic memoir about my colitis. I brought it up on the other video call, but basically I'm writing a graphic memoir about my life and stuff like that, and basically dealing with a condition and certain individuals that understood and some that don't and things like that. So I'm just doing some rough sketches and just trying to, figure out the style.
Nice.
This is an image from the dog book that I'm working on and stuff. It's called Fancy Pants Poodle, and it's about a dog pursuing a career as a fashion designer. So the book's all done and stuff, and it's going to print, and now I'm working on book 2 and stuff. And then I'm doing things for like Inktober and a few other like just to improve my inking and working on that. And then
that illustration already got me thinking that Baby Shark song.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
like I'm trying to draw cars better, so like I wanted to figure out how could I use the word fish and like draw a car.
Are those 20-inch chrome rims on that car? What?
Yeah.
What? Got a sound system in there too, right? Make the water vibrate.
Kind of like burr.
I love the background, especially with the fire escapes and all that, and the detail in the brick walls and whatnot. Very cool. Yeah. Keep going, man. Keep going.
And yeah, it's just pretty much a few commissions here and things like that. And then I'm still working on the movie thing and stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just doing a lot of different commissions and works. And what I'm trying to do is leave a legacy and stuff like that. So not only just working on other projects, but my own graphic memoir and stuff like that.
Yeah. My son is my legacy. He's my legacy, man. No, that was from the movie. Sorry, go ahead. Jen, please go ahead. Show us some work. Yeah. Show me what you got.
So I'm currently contracted to work on this music video series from a YouTuber called Oreo, and what I'm sharing right now is from a video that already premiered on YouTube, so it's all right to share.
All right, cool.
Okay, so this is a clip that I did, and this is before everything's been cleaned up and colored in, because I just wanted to show what my general process is. So, like, I've got character designs that they send over to me, and this is how the animation ends up looking.
Wow. So clean.
I love it.
Oh, wow.
And that just got me thinking, had you ever reached out to Vivi Pop?
Oh, so I know someone who did like some cleanup work for Haspin, and I almost got work to like I almost got recommended to work on Has-Been as well, but something ended up falling through and I never got contacted back, but
Well, I mean, cause there's also a Hell of a Boss that I know that Busy Pop is doing too. So if not Has-Been Hotel, you could probably see maybe about Hell of a Boss, because like that smooth animation, it's like it got me thinking a lot of Has-Been Hotel and Hell of a Boss. So that's why I'm like, you probably
oh
be a
my
good
God,
match being cleanup artist on it.
I actually get that a lot. Every single convention I've done, at least one person looks at my stuff and they're like, have you seen Has-Been Hotel?
I have an
mean, come on,
idea.
it's a good
Yeah.
show.
I have an
It's a good
idea.
show.
I have an idea. How about we all just get together and build our own empire, yo? We just take it over.
Yo,
You
for
know,
real.
we'll write a script together. Kyle and I will do like the books. We'll have Rebecca do like the detailing and backgrounds and whatnot, and we'll have Jen do the animation that follows the books. We could take over the city right now.
I mean, that's an idea.
Yeah, yo,
Definitely
Tyra, we
down.
didn't forget about you. You could do those clean digital art, man. For real. Nice. You guys are very talented. I applaud you guys. If I had an applaud button, I would be playing it right now.
Wait. I think. Hold up.
Ah.
Ah,
I saw that.
nice one.
Oh my god. So that's cool. How long did it take you to do like that one clip with the black water straddling that woman and pulling her down? How long it took you to do that piece of animation?
Just roughing it out usually takes like around 2 to 3 days, but then
Yeah.
after that I have to get like a lot of back and forth between me and the director for corrections and stuff, so
Right.
it actually ends up dragging on to like 2 weeks. And
Yeah. Yeah. The reason I bring it up is because I want people to know that, with everybody here that's doing their artwork and their projects, they always think that, oh, you love what you do, you shouldn't care how much you get paid, or, oh, it only takes you 5 minutes to do, which for me will take me like 5 years to do. I mean, it doesn't matter how long it takes us to do. We have talents, we have skills, and we should be paid for what we can bestly do. You know what I mean? So look at that. Wow.
yeah, this is the
again,
cleaned up version, and it actually takes like another 2 weeks to clean everything up after all the rough animation is done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And have somebody
Um,
come in and say, "I'll give you like give me for $50, can you do an animation like that for 5 seconds?" I mean, like, come on, really, seriously? Someone came up to me and says, "How much you charge for websites?" I give them like the smallest number I charge for websites, which is the basic package. I say $1,500, which is just the homepage, gallery, and contact. And the person's walked off. I'm like, all right, see, that's why I didn't believe that you were serious. You know what I mean? If you really wanted a website, you will pay for whatever it takes. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, look at that. That's
so clean.
nice.
and aside from this, I'm doing a series of character illustrations where I'm drawing like every single Disney princess I know, even the really obscure ones. So this is one that I was working on a little bit earlier that I'm still cleaning up. And these are, these are a couple that I have done. Some of them I posted up online already, some of them I haven't. So my big plan with this is to, when I finish all of them, I'm just going to stuff all of them into one giant print, and when conventions finally show up again, I'll try to sell it as a giant print. Yeah.
And it's like all the stuff that that y'all talking about kind of got me thinking of the other side projects that I got going on. That it's like I just put on the back burner temporarily because of the Inktober stuff and everything. But it's like it's kind of trying to work on my own comic too, such as retelling of ancient lores and such.
And then you also have to think about all the research behind it all, to look up things, to make things make sense in that time period. And also for costuming and displays.
Yeah, it's like all that research. It's like I lost track how many nights I almost got a headache to the point I'm like, I'm researching. 3 o'clock hit and I'm like, and I'm dead.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's cute. That's cute, Jen. I like that.
Actually,
Yeah,
Oh,
I
that's
didn't
adorable.
realize I wasn't
Oh.
sharing the right screen.
Nah, you got it.
This looks good. They
But
all look
yeah,
good.
this is the Disney
I
princess stuff that I've been doing on the side too. That
Mm.
it's all just gonna be one giant print eventually.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love it. This is actually like motivating me so much to draw some more. Like,
You see?
not gonna lie, I've been in a slump for a good like I don't know a couple of weeks. But like especially what with like finally burning out after so long, finally getting a new job, having to like do everything with my with my kids and everything for school, and like I'm honestly really glad that I was able to be in this like little round table of artists because it's just like so motivating seeing everybody.
Yeah.
Well, Kara, don't never apologize for taking a break. I was even telling this to another artist, and I think you know who I'm talking about. I was talking to another artist. It's nothing wrong taking a break. Sometimes you need a reset. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even I have to take a break. You steam in working hard, doing 8 to 12 hours, working all night. Insomniac. I've been there, done that till my hand hurt.
Yeah.
It doesn't help. You get burned out very quickly, and it doesn't help with your skills. You go get frustrated, and then you're going to quit. Take a break,
Yeah.
breathe, play some video games, go hang out
Oh
with your
my
friends.
gosh.
You
I've
know what I
been
mean?
Animal Crossing like
Exactly.
a
Yep.
fiend.
And then once you're done with all that, you come back stronger and harder when you get back into those projects. There's nothing wrong. You should never feel guilty or not working a drawing. I sometimes wish I could take my own advice. I feel you on that point. Sometimes I feel guilty. I should be working. But sometimes you just need to take a break and breathe. Enjoy life that's
Yeah.
around you, because life is going by with or without you. So just nothing wrong with that. You know?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I do the same thing. It's like because unfortunately due to this pandemic, like Home Depot unfortunately did suffer a shorthand staff
I could
situation.
imagine. Yeah.
So it's like not only am I pretty much risking my injury by trying to help out when I shouldn't be doing it, but it's like I get so worn out by the time I get home that I'm like I'm just chilling on my computer for an hour, and next thing I know, oh, it's midnight, I'm conking out and such.
Yeah.
But recently, and I'm surprised I'm able to get away with it right now. Although I probably won't because I'm admitting it and such. But I have been sneaking a lot of the sketching and such, like at my job.
Bring them a little closer to the camera. I can't see
Yeah,
in detail.
I got like so many. It's like I recently just inked all of these myself and such, but a lot of these I just sketched at my
Nice.
job. Such
On
like
your lunch break, right? Wink, wink. On your lunch break.
oh, what?
You sketched those during your lunch break, right? Wink, wink.
Well, yeah, lunch break for sure, but also because my current due to my current situation and such, like I'm not allowed to do heavy lifting.
Right.
So I'm pretty much literally sitting at the desk doing nothing because curbside is practically dead.
I try to help her,
So-
guys. I'm sorry. She's just admitting everything. Look at that. I try to help her.
Yeah, well, no, it's more like I just bring these little guys down, have my little reference on the side because I can't have my phone out all the time.
Yeah.
So I would literally print out my reference ahead of time, like maybe just a couple of small pictures and just do quick little doodles, like just straight on the card, like no rough sketches.
Go into the garden section for inspiration.
Hell yeah.
I wish.
Ah,
I wish the
no?
garden. Well, no, we do have the garden department, but the thing is that because we're at the point where we got our Halloween stuff out, we're getting our Christmas stuff out, which pretty much means the garden department is only open for another month before close.
Aww.
Yeah. And such. Plus, majority of the plants that I actually have on these cards, we don't even have at Home Depot. Like this one here, an Echinacea. I cannot pronounce the name. I stuck with them. I didn't even realize we had this until I saw the flower that looked exactly like it. I look at the name and I'm like, oh, well, you know. And such, but yeah, so when I'm not busy helping with curbside or anything like that, I'm just kind of doodling on the side and such. That way I can get the real work done when I get home and such.
I get you on that point. The real work, definitely. Everybody, questions because we're running out of time here. When you think when conventions will be back open? I know we probably talked a little bit of it, but just as a final answer, when you think we'll actually start having in-house conventions, or have you heard any in-house conventions that's upcoming that people should be aware of?
That one I do not know.
I mean, that's tricky because I do actually have a show coming up in like a couple of weeks
Okay.
and such. But the thing is that we're only allowed to have it if we follow protocol, which means we have to have our mask, we gotta have our glove, we have to have hand sanitizer at our table. Like no if, no and, no but. You
That
don't
should
do
be a
that,
given.
you're out.
That should be a given. Yeah, I hear you on
Yeah.
that point. Especially
Yeah.
nowadays, you never know. I mean, like, a lot of people still have the paranoia and they're scared. And, it's, I know an artist, and I'm sure a few of you all may know. I know Kyle may know this person, SP Mask. SP
Yeah.
Mask.
Yeah.
He's an artist who wears a mask. Through all the conventions, he does convention reviews. He does a lot of YouTube content, stuff like that. And I was talking to him the other day. Shout out to SP Mask. He was like, now, if I ever go back to conventions, I won't be the only one wearing a mask, so I'm not special anymore.
Yeah, but because but it's like I'm sorry, Kyle, you were gonna say something?
No, the only one that I know about is the Suffolk County Comic Arts Expo. They're doing one December 6th.
December 6th, okay.
Yeah. With they're doing it, it's gonna be social distancing, small,
Yeah.
accounts of people, but that's one that I know about.
Okay, so we have Suffolk County Art Expo in December when?
6th.
6th. Rebecca, what's the convention that you just mentioned? You want to give a shout out to them, let people know where they can find you there?
Well, it's not really a convention because not only do we do convention, we do craft show, and the show that we have coming up, I'm just double checking my calendar quickly.
Okay, of course.
And such, but the organization, well, the show is actually called Scooby-Doo Ball Bouquet. And such.
Scooby-Doo?
Yeah, Scooby-Doo Rescue Mission. It's an organization that actually rescue dogs.
Oh, okay, nice. Very cool.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, and they usually have like the spring and the fall bouquet like every year to not only help raise awareness, but also help help adopting the dogs and everything, but also help vendors. Like it's kind of like that combination of adoption fair, but also kind of like craft shows.
Yeah, contributing to help out the pets that needs to be adopted, right?
Yeah.
That's very
Something
cool.
like that. But they are they're pretty much hosting on October 24th.
Okay, so that's
and
coming up.
such,
This month.
Yeah.
I pulled up the flyer if you want.
Yeah, I mean, I could probably share it on. I'm gonna be sharing it, like promoting it like heck on my Facebook because it's like that's literally the only event that had not canceled on us. So.
Now, anyone else want to share any in-house conventions upcoming that whatnot?
I have the flyer from the convention host if you want me to share it.
What's that? For the same Suffolk County?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's see.
That's not a problem.
Oh, very nice.
And predictions. And let's know anyone have any other conventions they want to share right now. Any predictions for in-house conventions that's upcoming? If it's not even this year, say that early next year or even next summer. Any predictions you think how it's going to be? I mean, you just said it yourself with the the social distancing, the paranoia, the mask. The capacity is going to be cut in half, if not 75%. Do you think it's worth it?
Honestly, the way I see it is that because a lot of people are now finding ways of doing it online, it's like panels, like anything that can be done online, definitely not going to be a problem. My only concern would be the whole artist alley because I have a friend, B, who did try to do an online convention thing.
I know
and
V.
such.
That's the bead art, right?
What?
V does the bead art, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know who he is.
Yeah, and we did try to do the artist alley thing and such, and we didn't know what we were doing, so it kind of blew up in our face a little bit, but
Right.
we're working on it and such. And I got the flyer for the Scooby-Doo thing.
All right, go ahead. You want to share it? Go
Excellent.
ahead.
Yeah, so hold on. Screen share.
Anyone else have any predictions to what they
Um,
think our convention is going to be like?
I think
Yeah.
I think it's going to be pretty much this way, doing virtual shows, maybe a few in-person shows going up until the end of next year. And then
Yeah.
even at the start of 2022, I mean, you'll start getting people, as long, as long as everything's fine and stuff and there's a vaccine, we'll start
Yeah.
getting people coming back to doing shows, and we'll probably get back to normal maybe mid-2022.
Yeah.
Probably. Like when the vaccine come in, I'm expecting at least a half a year to a year before we see any sign of going back to quote unquote normal
Yeah.
and
Most
such. Because you're still gonna have those paranoid people, those like anti-vaxxer, whatever
Right.
they
Actually,
call
I was just
themselves.
going to say
Like,
that those who don't even want the vaccine because they, whatever reason they have in their heads.
yeah. But anyway, this is the Scooby-Doo fall boutique thing that we got coming up.
Nice.
Mm.
It's up
Nice.
here at Lincoln House and Pine Brook Road. Okay, Lincoln Park. What?
Yep. Yeah, and like I said, they do have adoption. So if anyone's looking to adopt a dog, like Scooby-Doo Rescue Mission, they do have dogs available. They bring some of the dogs from their shelter to the actual show itself, so that way people can interact with the dogs, like adopt them from there.
Do each patron that comes through, they get a free bag of Scooby snacks?
I wish. I wish. So it's like Ruby Roo.
Right.
Let's get some Ruby Rex.
Well, I do have to admit, like I said, I mean, like the shutdown definitely didn't help me financially when it comes to conventions. I would say that the shutdown did help me improve to upscale myself into the next level when it comes to like doing virtually. Like again, like working on the website, working on doing some live streams, trying to get clientele doing that way, working on the online store, things like that. I know it's not the same. I get it. It's not the same as meeting in house and getting the customer in your face and they actually get to walk out, whatnot. When I did MCon for the summer, I did because I didn't want to say I'm going to cancel it because of whatever reason, and disappoint people who actually look forward to the event. I've tried to highlight artists. I tried to get people to get them. Hopefully, it helped out for some of y'all to at least get some kind of tells or followers that may help and down the line. I'm doing the normally every year we do a MCon Halloween party, which basically the same thing as MCon but at a smaller scale. It's just a night, one night. But this time, since we we could do it virtually, I'm doing a Halloween edition where it's just going to be just programs throughout the scatter of the month of October and probably early November. I'm looking to have like same thing we did last time, drawing workshop hosted by me. That's going to be on, I believe, October 7th at 7 o'clock p.m. I'm also looking to have a virtual cosplay contest, which is I'm going to have Rizuki and two other cosplayers come in and judge on November 7th so people could get prizes from that. I'm having like a dance party where they can learn some Halloween anime themed moves by Diana Ports. She's like a formerly cheerleader from excuse me, I should have my notes here, but but what I'm saying, we're gonna have some dance programs. We're gonna have some a Zoom party by DJ Justin. He's gonna be playing some music for people to hang out and stuff like that on October 30th at 7 p.m. I'm also having voice actor from Tokyo Ghoul and Attack on Titans and many other animes. I believe his name is Austin Tyndall. He does the voice for Kaneki from Tokyo Ghoul, the lead voice actor from that anime. I'm gonna have him coming in to hang out with us doing a Zoom program on October 23rd at 7 o'clock p.m. And all this again is just like how it was, even and within in-house, it's all free. And so I'm trying to once again, trying to get the hang of this virtually new world or the new norm, I should say. Trying to get people to come through and take advantage of these programs and and hopefully bring like a spotlight to the artist. Because when I first started MCon back in 2010, it was mainly was just the main focus was the spotlight was on the artist. I had Joe Leota, who's an artist, and he does great panel programs on ninjas and also trips to Japan. I had Rebecca Friedman, who also was an animator. I met her at conventions, and I heard her come in as a guest to talk about how to do animation. And also my wife, who was not my wife at the time, Jay Scribble, when she had her Raystar books published and self-published, I should say, to promote herself and meet other people and sell her books and whatnot. So it started off with artists first, and then it just expanded and exploded into this anime fest as we now know it from 2019 and and previous conventions from there. So I'm trying to get it big, whatnot. Trying to do this whole online thing, whatnot. And I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me this evening and things like that. You know, because again, like I said, it all starts with you guys, and artists should be recognized as also stars within the game and whatnot. I know some conventions forgot that, but I also understand the whole politics of behind it all, bringing in celebrities to draw in the crowd so they can meet you guys, so you can make sales and talk to them and get a following as well. Without having Avenger movie, you needed an artist to draw the Avengers to make the comic book. So I mean, it all starts in steps, and how it just went big. Like even New York Comic Con when it first started, I forgot what year. If anyone knows, let me know. It all started with just comic book artists, and then it just went exploded with bringing in the celebrities and people from TV shows, movies, things like that. I mean, it's just an evolution state of it all when it comes to these conventions, and this virtual way, it's just another evolution. So that's how I look at it. And I think if we are very serious and passionate enough to do these works and do the work, we can also grow with it and learn to adapt because we are human. We can adapt and make to that next level. Agree? Disagree?
Absolutely agree.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely agree.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So I think it's challenging, but that's why it is. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it, and everybody and their mama got a virtual convention now. So hopefully it would gravitate into the artist alley field where people will start buying from the online shops that there was that one I did participated in where they had like a certain app to go into to talk to the artist and and same time you can talk to them and they'll say, I like that, and you make the purchase and they'll ship it to you, whatnot. But if a friend of mine did it too, made like one or two sales. I know it's frustrating, but it is what it is, and we just have to just do it. I mean, we do it because we're artists and we love doing it. You
Yeah,
know?
and it's like on my end, yeah, I did had a rough time this year because the pandemic really didn't help my depression, to be honest.
I hear you.
And my injury didn't make it better either and such. But I mean, it's like getting back into the art, like hanging out with fine folks like all of us here
Yeah.
and such. It's getting me going. Like, okay, Friday I got gaming with my bro. Sunday I now actually have D&D session with a nice group of people
Hmm.
and such. So it's like, okay, if we could just somehow wiggle streaming into that, because I was a little worried about the traditional stuff because I do traditional more than digital,
Yeah.
and based on what I've seen right now, along with looking at my battery and such, I'm probably just gonna do like maybe streaming 1 hour, maybe on Sunday, so that way I don't have to worry about rushing everything
Hmm.
and such. So,
Take your time
baby
and
steps,
pace
baby
yourself.
steps.
Yeah, baby step. Take your time and pace yourself. But don't lose focus. Keep going, and then always remember that you have a goal in mind that what kind of plateau you're trying to reach. And once you accomplish that plateau, you'll be up and rocking and be ready for it when we start opening the doors again. I wish the library was open. Right now, we're going through renovation. It's going to be like that till late spring. It seems like now. Even we could do in house. Again, I don't know what kind of numbers we'll be getting. I don't know what other conventions numbers we'll be getting. Rebecca, I'm definitely going to hit you up down the line. I'll love to hear how the results of the Scooby Doo convention or the animal.
Yeah, the Scooby Doo Babu Key,
Yeah.
like it's happening at the fireplace, so it was kind of like an indoor outdoor thing going on. So
Okay.
they're not too worried about the numbering,
Yeah.
but they did have that risk of, because the fact it's a public location, they did have that risk of like the whole, okay, suddenly we can't do it because they're too scared of the risk
Yeah. Yeah.
and such. Like the wolf stock, which was supposed to be a few weeks ago,
Yeah.
that was on private location because that was on someone's farm. But
Hmm.
the thing is, because of the pandemic, they were like, up, yep, nope, let's just cancel this thing. Like, I don't want people on my property because I don't want anyone getting sick on my watch.
I know it's. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you heard what I said, but
Oh yeah.
it's going to. It's eventually this will fade eventually, and I believe that it will fade, and we'll go back to what it is. But again, I still think that from all these new technologies and people doing these new methods, even if we could do it in house, I'm sure they'll still have this capability of still keeping it with the virtually for those who can't make it. You know what I mean? So I think that's how it's going to be in the near future. I mean, it could, it's kind of like a bonus in a way where if it gets popular and big enough, think about it where down the line, it's like if you were in a New York Comic Con scene in Artist Alley, you can have somebody from Japan visiting through virtually and see you on your table, which will expand your clientele. So you could be at your table in house selling, and then you get a text on your phone that somebody's interested from freaking Japan or Australia. I'm just throwing out, just throwing out continents, saying that, I like that piece. How much, and can you send it to me? So I mean, it's kind of a win-win for us. So I mean, we'll see how things go. It might be a good benefit in the future. It's a little bit down right now because it's still brand new, kind of is. So it's going to happen. I think it's going to be a blessing in the long run. But one more question before I let you guys go, because I wanted to do this for 90 minutes and we're already hitting over 2 hours. So it definitely was fun, wasn't it? Right?
Yeah,
But
I
the
think
what?
we got caught up and everything. Yeah.
And Jen, you're still with us, right? The plane didn't
Yeah.
catch you, didn't take you away.
I was wondering why everyone was so quiet.
If I do this again, would you guys want to join me in another session of Behind the Artist table?
Heck
I'd be
yeah.
down, absolutely.
Yeah,
All
this
right.
was
Sure.
fun.
Yeah, excellent, excellent. Next week, I am doing another one and another episode I believe, on Friday, October 9th, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, p.m. I'm having comic book indie, excuse me, let me refrain from that, indie comic book creators. Special guest Rich Dresden, the author of Lucky Zilla, Sean MacArthur, he's the author of Homes and Worlds Beyond, and also Jarrell Rivera, he's the author of Go Robo, and also Jody the Real Rogers. She's the author of my God, I'm gonna botch this up. Euphobia. Euphobia. I'm sorry. It's
Good
late
attempt.
for me. It's late for me. Uphoria. I would.
Like
Huh?
I said, good attempt.
Oh, sorry. What's that again? Oh God, someone's yelling in the background with me. Anyway, Euphoria. Thank you. Oh God, Jay Scribble is like yelling at me and telling me how to say it. Euphoria. Yes, Euphoria. All right, I definitely have to remember saying that because I don't want to mess up while I'm on the air again, especially in front of her. Hopefully she's not watching this. Sorry if you are. So anyway, this was fun. Hopefully anyone that's watching this and or watching in the future, and hopefully I'm still alive in the future watching this.
You know you will be.
Okay,
Yep.
good. All right. Yes, I really appreciate you guys. Press the like button, share this, and follow. And hopefully, you come to the next episode. on Behind the Artist Table on October 9th. And I really appreciate you guys. Mad Artist Paradise, Rebecca, Kyle Horn, I really appreciate it. Jennifer Lee, I really appreciate you. Kara Parsi, Munyeka, I really appreciate you guys. And I'm serious, maybe we should all just start a corporation, man. Let's start an empire, man. This will be awesome. We just get
I was
together and just work
actually
on one major
thinking
project.
that we should like get like some Long Island artists together and like kind of make our own little community and work together and just like share each other's works and stuff.
Our own artist guild.
Yeah,
Yep.
so it's like, and then we could share each other's work. It's like, oh, hey, by the way, shout out to this artist, or shout out to Kyle, or shout out to Jen, or Mad Artist Paradise. And it's like,
Yeah.
that way, it's like, what was that association by the 6th degree or whatever? 6 degrees of separation. There we go. Where it's like, everything like branches out.
And we just build our army and get more followers in.
Yeah.
So anyway, I want to say thank you, everyone. Thank you for hanging out with us.
No problem.
Thank
Please,
you.
God bless you guys. Stay safe and healthy. And we definitely will. I'll hit you guys up in the future for more upcoming episodes, and maybe have you guys come in as guest spots in for other episodes. And I always do live art drawings every Tuesday at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Night and Day Anime Studios on my Facebook page. So I really appreciate you guys. Come check me out. Press a like, say a shout out to me, say hello, whatnot. That'll be great. And yeah, I'll call this adieu. I think we're good. All right. Say goodbye, everyone. Oh, matter of fact, I'm so sorry. Go ahead and say your social media handle. I forgot to even mention that. Go ahead. Where they can find you guys.
Okay.
If possible, I'll just put my link tree in the comments below. So
I have your websites on display. I know I have it there, but if you want to shout out like any Facebook or Instagram, things like that.
If you want to just like check out my Instagram, I know it's on my old username, TommyKit123. So if you guys want to check out my artwork there, most certainly.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Yeah, and on my end, I do have my own website, www.madartistparadise.com.
Okay.
Such, but I do like that website doesn't get updated too often and such. For the more recent work, like the more current, up to date stuff, I usually use Facebook and Instagram, also
Okay.
under the name Mad Artist Paradise.
There you go. Kyle, where can find you?
It's always Kyle Horn Art. Same thing on Patreon and all the other social media. It's pretty much Instagram, Facebook is my most recent stuff. But I'm always uploading new stuff to Patreon.
All right, cool. Jennifer Lee, where they can find you?
I am most active on Twitter, but I also generally post everything that I post on Twitter over to Instagram, and both of those are Jen Kunoichi 351. So JenKunoichi 351.
All right, cool. All right, then. All right. So definitely, then I'm going to end this now. Definitely. I should say that again. Definitely. All right. I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. And then, yes, keep me posted about your upcoming projects so we can talk later on. All right.
Yep.
All right, then.
Yep, and I thank you for having us.
Thank you very much. All right.
Yes, thank you.
Fun.
Thank you.
Fun.